There is no hope in time. And everything is going to get worse in time. Because, as you know, it does. We all fall apart in the end. Everything falls apart. Institutions, buildings, nations, it all crumbles. And people say, well, that's an awfully pessimistic philosophy. Well, is it? Well, is it? I would rather say that the people who have hope in the future are the miserable people. Because they're like donkeys, chasing carrots that are dangled before their noses from sticks attached to their collars. And they pursue in vain, always hoping that tomorrow will be the great thing. The great thing. The great thing. Always hoping that tomorrow will be the great thing. The great thing. The great thing. And therefore incapable of enjoying themselves today. People who live for the future never get there. Because when their plans mature, they're not there to enjoy them. They're the sort of people who spend their lives saving for their old age and try to teach their children to do the same thing. Always hoping that tomorrow will be the great thing. The great thing. The great thing. Always hoping that tomorrow will be the great thing. The great thing. The great thing. And therefore incapable of enjoying themselves today.
I don't know about that. Some of them maybe, but I think some of them just don't have discipline. There's also an issue with momentum. You're not used to doing it. It's not a part of your life. It's not something that you're accustomed to, pushing yourself. There's been many days where I didn't want to work out. I just didn't feel like I had the energy, and I just forced myself. And I think there's very few people out there that know how to force themselves. That's a learned skill. You have to have like real rigid requirements of yourself where you don't allow yourself to back out of things.
Akira.
The Don.
Do something. 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 Do something.
Excuses are a giant part of the problem. It's not simply a physical health issue. There's also mental aspects of it, and discipline's a big one. I just know way too many people who are weak mentally. I can't just chalk it off to only the way they physically feel. Because I felt like shit 100 times, and then I worked out, and then I felt way better. It's just a fact of life. That's real.
Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something.
People don't know how to do that.
Something.
If you're used to doing it, get in your car, sit down, drive to the office,
sit down,
go to the lunch,
sit down,
go to the board meeting, sit down, get in your car, sit down, get home, sit down, then go to the gym. Fuck off. It's one thing if someone has a legit physical issue, but there's a lot of people who do not. They just have poor diet choices, they have a sedentary lifestyle, and they have the momentum of this sedentary lifestyle that's holding them back. They're accustomed to being lazy. You don't have to do a lot, you just have to do something. You walk up hills, you jump a little rope, you take a little tiny kettlebell, you do a couple cleans and presses, you do a few push-ups, you do a few sit-ups, you get your blood pumping, you're moving, you're alive. Yeah. To say you don't have enough energy to exercise, that is crazy to say. Can you walk to the fucking refrigerator? Yes. Well, you can exercise.
Do something.
No.
Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something.
You don't have to do anything crazy. Just walk around the block. There's 80-year-old ladies who take yoga with me. They're fucking really old. And they're in there. They're going after it. They can easily say, I don't have the energy to do that. But they don't. It's a mental attitude. They make a decision. Yes, to kill yourself. You don't have to go to a CrossFit class and try to do the workout of the day. You don't have to go nuts. You don't have to do that. But you can do something. Just get your blood moving. Your body has requirements. It wants to move. It wants to move. Then when it does, you feel better. But people like to give themselves this excuse. I do not have the energy to do this. Whatever. If you decide that, that's true. But if you watch a motivational video, there's 100 of them on YouTube. Go watch one, you get fired up, you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna jump some rope. Jump some rope. Do something. Do some push-ups. Do something. You feel better.
Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something.
Pull that shit up, Jamie. We have fucked up lifestyles. The human body is not designed to sit down all day. And it's certainly not designed to be stuck in traffic and be in an office and just be in front of a fucking computer monitor watching your soul get sucked through the LCD screen. It's crazy. We gotta be really careful with just the way we describe things. It's like to say, I don't have the energy to do something. Fuck off. Stop.
In comparing sins, the way that people do, Theophrastus says those done out of desire are worse than those done out of anger, which is good philosophy. The angry man seems to turn his back on reason out of a kind of pain and in a convulsion. But the man motivated by desire, who is mastered by pleasure, seems somehow more self-indulgent, less manly in his sins. Theophrastus is right and philosophically sound to say the sin committed out of pleasure deserves a harsher rebuke than the one committed out of pain. The angry man is more like a victim of wrongdoing, provoked by pain to anger. The other man rushes into wrongdoing on his own, moved to action by desire. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. You could leave life right now. You could leave life right now. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. You could leave life right now. You could leave life right now. If the gods exist, then to abandon human beings is not frightening. The gods would never subject you to harm. Yeah. And if they don't exist, or don't care what happens to us, what would be the point of living in a world without gods or providence? But they do exist. They do care what happens to us. And everything a person needs to avoid real harm, they have placed within him. If there were anything harmful on the other side of death, they would have made sure that the ability to avoid it was within you. If it doesn't harm your character, how can it harm your life? Nature would not overlook such dangers through failing to recognize, though because it saw them but was powerless to prevent or correct them. To prevent or correct them. Nor would it ever, through inability or incompetence, make such a mistake as to let good and bad things happen indiscriminately to good and bad alike. Good and bad alike. Good and bad alike. But death and life, success and failure, pain and pleasure, wealth and poverty, all these happen to good and bad alike. Good and bad alike. Good and bad alike. Good and bad alike. But death and life, success and failure, pain and pleasure, all these happen to good and bad alike. And they ain't neither noble nor shameful, and hence they're neither good nor bad. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do yeah. Major League Facts. Ghost Visa Social Con. Thank you for everything. You epic being. Naval in the house. Make some noise, baby. Yeah.
Akira The Don. He's got clout.
Facts.
To the extent that specific knowledge is taught, it's on the job. It's through apprenticeships, and that's why the best careers are the apprenticeship careers, because those are things that society still has not figured out how to train and automate yet. The classic line here is that Warren Buffett went to Benjamin Graham when he got out of school, and Benjamin Graham was the author of The Intelligent Investor, and sort of modernized or created value investing as a discipline. And Warren Buffett went to Benjamin Graham and offered to work for him for free. And Graham said, actually, you're overpriced. Free is overpriced. And Graham was absolutely right. When it comes to a very valuable apprenticeship, like the type that Graham was going to give Buffett, Buffett should have been paying him a lot of money. And that right there tells you that those are skills worth knowing. Specific knowledge also tends to be technical and creative. So on the bleeding edge of technology, on the bleeding edge of art, on the bleeding edge of communication, even today, for example, there are probably meme lords out there on the internet who can create incredible memes that will spread the idea to millions of people.
Akira.
Incredible memes that will spread the idea to millions of people. Follow your own obsession. Follow your own obsession.
Yeah.
Follow your own obsession. Follow your own obsession. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you can realize that, hey, actually, this obsession, I'll keep an eye out for the commercial aspects of it. But I think if you go around trying to build it a little too deliberately, if you become too goal-oriented on the money, then you won't pick the right thing. You won't actually pick the thing that you love to do, so you won't go deep enough into it. But I think it's important that one not start assembling things too deliberately. Because you do want to pick things where you are a natural. Everyone is a natural at something. We're all familiar with that phrase, a natural. Oh, this person's a natural at meeting men or women. This person's a natural socialite. This person's a natural programmer. This person's a natural reader. So, whatever you are a natural at, you want to double down on that. And then there are probably multiple things you're natural at, because personalities and humans are very complex. We want to be able to take the things that you are natural at and combine them so that you automatically, just through sheer interest and enjoyment, end up top 25 or top 10 or top 5% at a number of things. Whatever you are a natural at, you want to double down on that. Follow your own obsession. Follow your own obsession. Whatever you are a natural at, you want to double down on that. Whatever you are a natural at, you want to double down on that. Follow your own obsession. Follow your own obsession. Whatever you are a natural at, you want to double down on that.
Akira.
He's got clout. He's got clout.
But no, it's like commitment, man. It's like life is hard, right? Like, yeah, you might get hurt. It's like, you know, your heart might get broken. You know, it's like you might lose your job, but you still gotta commit. You know, you gotta commit, right? You know what I mean? You gotta commit, right? You know what I mean? You gotta commit, right? You know what I mean? Don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit.
You know.
And it's like, you know, you meet somebody and hey, you know, you like her and she likes you, and you're hesitating. Don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, commit. You gotta commit. You know, commit. You gotta commit. You know, commit. Don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit.
You know.
Don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, don't hesitate. Go. Commit. You gotta commit. You know, no.
Akira.
The Don. He's got clout.
You know the old question. If a tree crashes in a forest, and there is nobody around to hear it, is there a noise? This question has been discussed in many futile ways. But noise, basically, is a state of affairs that requires an eardrum and an audio nervous system behind the eardrum. When the tree falls, it makes the air vibrate. If there is anywhere around an ear with the appropriate nervous system, there will be a noise. Because noise is a relationship between motion in the air and ears. If there is not any ear around, there won't be any noise, although there will be vibration in the air. And if there is some instrument around, such as a microphone attached to a tape recorder, there will be noise. There will be a vibration.
There will be light.
In the darkness. In the same way, let's suppose the sun sends out light into space. Now, the space surrounding the sun will be black darkness, as if there were no light in it, unless a planet happens to float by. When a planet floats by, there will be light. In the darkness. But if there isn't anything to relate to the sun in that way, then comes no light. Now this goes right down to the root and ground of everything. It goes down to the essence of your nerves, your whole being. that it's all an interdependence. There will be noise. There will be a vibration. There will be light. In the darkness. There will be noise. There will be a vibration. There will be light. In the darkness. And that.
Akira.
He's got clout.
That's a very scary situation when you are on one side of the door and your mind is racing because on the other side of that door, it could be no one. It could be 4 guys with 4 AK-47s. That door you're about to open could be booby-trapped. So once you open it, boom, your legs are gone. There's 1,000 things you think about when you're the first guy, second guy, third guy, getting ready to go in a room and flood it. And that's why I talk about the warrior mentality. And that's why so many people are lost when I start talking. You have the right. You're lucky that you don't have to think like warriors think. You're very privileged. I chose this world to be a warrior. To be a warrior. To be a warrior. I chose this world to be a warrior. And I would choose it again if I came back to this world. The mentality of a warrior is very different than normal mentality. You must be that person on that door, get ready to open it, thinking to yourself, if I die, so be it. The only way you can go in that door is knowing there's a great chance you're gonna die. Like being a SEAL, you train with live ammo. You jump out of an airplane. Everything you do, you could die. To be a warrior, why people don't understand me, I'm glad you don't understand me. Merry Christmas, good on you. Because being a warrior takes a whole different mindset. A whole different mindset to know that there's a great chance I may not be in the military. I was in for 21 years. I'm lucky. I'm very lucky that I'm alive, able to talk to you, able to still run. But when you sign up on that dotted line to be a SEAL, your mentality changes. I may not live. You gotta accept that. And that's the mentality you have. And that's what makes you a warrior. If you're scared to die, you're a bad warrior. I chose this world to be a warrior. To be a warrior. To be a warrior. I chose this world to be a warrior. And I would choose it again if I came back to this world.
Akira.
The Don.
I've been lucky. I've been blessed. I've had a life that I would not trade with anyone in the world. When you talk about Ramadi, that was the highlight of my life. Because I was leading men in combat, which was something that I always wanted to do. And something that I felt that I was destined to do. And when I was in that situation, I knew that. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is what you have been waiting for your whole life and what you really have been preparing for your whole life. And I was lucky to be there, and I was lucky to have incredible guys to work with. I was lucky enough to have guys that were so brave and so dedicated. I will use the word fear, but that they overcame it all the time. And so I'd say if there's anything that I struggle with now, it's just that. Does anything else matter? And the answer is no. The answer is no. Nothing else matters. Nothing else is close. And so you have to deal with that. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is it.
It isn't merely that your fate depends on whether or not you get your act together and to what degree you decide that you're going to live out your own genuine being. It isn't only your fate. It's the fate of everyone that you're networked with. There's 7 billion people in the world, and who are you? You're just one little dust mote among that 7 billion, and so it really doesn't matter what you do or don't do, but that's simply not the case. It's the wrong model, because you're at the center of a network. You're a node in a network. You're a node in a network. You're a node in a network. Node in a network. You'll know 1,000 people, at least over the course of your life. And they'll know 1,000 people. And that puts you one person away from 1 million, and 2 persons away from 1 billion. And so that's how you're connected. And the things you do, they're like dropping a stone in a pond. The ripples move outward, and they affect things in ways that you can't fully comprehend. And it means that the things that you do and you don't do are far more important than you think. More important than you think. Far more important than you think. The things that you do and you don't do are far more important than you think. The terror of realizing that is that it actually starts to matter what you do. And you might say, well, that's better than living a meaningless existence. It's better for it to matter. But I mean, if you really ask yourself, would you be so sure? The things that you do and you don't do are far more important than you think. More important than you think. Far more important than you think. The things that you do and you don't do are far more important than you think. You had the choice. I can live with no responsibility whatsoever. The price I pay is that nothing matters. Or I can reverse it and everything matters. But I have to take the responsibility that's associated with that. It's not so obvious to me that people would take the meaningful path. You know, when you say, well, nihilists suffer dreadfully because there's no meaning in their life, and they still suffer. Yeah, but the advantage is they have no responsibility. So that's the payoff, and I actually think that's the motivation. Say, well, I can't help being nihilistic. All my belief systems have collapsed. It's like, yeah, maybe. Maybe you just allowed them to collapse because it's a hell of a lot easier than acting them out. And the price you pay is some meaningless suffering. But you can always whine about that, and people will feel sorry for you. And you have the option of taking the pathway of the martyr. So that's a pretty good deal, all things considered. Especially when the alternative is to bear your burden properly and to live forthrightly in the world. If you live a pathological life, you pathologize your society. And if enough people do that, then it's hell. Really. Really.
The things that you do and you don't do are far more important than you think. More important than you think. Far more important than you think. The things that you do and you don't do are far more important than you think. Far more important than you think. The things that you do and you don't do are far more important than you think. More important than you think. Far more important than you think. The things that you do and you don't do are far more important than you think. Far more important than you think.
And you can read the Gulag Archipelago and you'll see exactly what hell is like. And then you can decide if that's a place you'd like to visit, or even more importantly, if it's a place you'd like to visit and take all your family and friends. Because that's what happened in the 20th century.